News 1226 First Alert Radar Net.
With up to 10 times the resolution of other local radars and technology that can pinpoint right down to your street.
First just got faster. Live from Augusta, we're watching News 1226 at 11.
Good evening, I'm Courtney Hicks. Earlier this evening, a gun violence remembrance event and a call to action went on tonight at the Jesse Norman Amphitheater. We will get to that story with Kennedy Payne in just a moment, but first let's kick off our show with First Alert meteorologist Mikhail Hannah Harding. As we head into the weekend, we might need some rain gear and maybe just stay indoors with the AC if we are blessed enough to have it, because it's going to be a hot one.
Most definitely, Courtney. It's going to be a hot one, especially for tomorrow. Not as much Sunday, but a first alert in effect for the potential of some severe storms for your Saturday and Sunday. You can see the heat index for Saturday could be around 100 degrees, and we're going to keep a pretty active pattern as we do head into next week. We're taking a look at your severe outlook for tomorrow. You can see that enhanced risk to our west. So the highest threat for severe weather just to the west of the CSRA, and how those storms develop and move through that area, and if they're able to continue to maintain their strength, will ultimately determine if we see severe weather by tomorrow afternoon and evening, and then possibly again for your Sunday morning, even again by Sunday evening. So a slight risk still in effect looking at Sunday into Monday morning here. As far as just some tips to remember, if you hear thunder, when thunder roars, go indoors. You want to make sure you're inside the house or inside of a home or some kind of shelter. Stay away from windows when you're in there. And then the biggest thing for this weekend is just going to be to stay weather aware. You can do that by having our Wrdw weather app downloaded. As far as looking at the next few hours, a very muggy night out there. Temperatures are currently in the upper 70s and only cruising to the mid to low 70s by tomorrow morning. We'll talk more about that first alert in effect coming up.
All right, thank you so much, Mikhail. We appreciate you. New tonight, a night of remembrance in Augusta, calling for an end to gun violence, with supporters wearing orange in Waynesboro, along with Hancock County and around the nation today. Even if they were not wearing orange, they gathered feeling grief and passion, calling for an end to gun violence. New tonight, community members, leaders, and those that have been affected by gun violence, either as survivors or have lost loved ones, came together in a night of remembrance. We bring in Kennedy Payne. She joins me here in studio. And Kennedy, you attended this remembrance tonight, this event tonight. Things became a little heavy for you. You had a chance to talk to two moms who unfortunately have lived through the nightmare of losing their child.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. I spoke with two moms living the unimaginable nightmare no parent should have to go through. But in their sorrow, they found purpose. And as they stand for every child loss and even every life that can be saved.
We say their names!
They came with orange shirts and stories etched into their memory.
In 2019, my son Gerald Walden was killed right here in Augusta. He befriended a girl at work who knew an individual at that time was currently dating my son's ex-girlfriend. And these individuals plotted to kill my son. They did exactly what they plotted. And my son left a stamp with his friends.
Just 6 months later, another mother lost her only son.
My son Devontae McFadden, his murder took place January the 12th of 2020. He was given a friend of his a ride who had a friend of hers with her. She was setting him up to be robbed. When he parked, he noticed he was being boxed in. And that's when, he tried to escape and unfortunately got shot.
Devontae never had a chance to meet his son, so now she tucks in her grandson, answering questions with a breaking heart.
He asked about his father every day. When he asked those hard questions like, why did he have to die? Who killed him? Why would they do that? And so I have to, answer that.
It's a plea from mothers who should have been planning birthdays, not anniversaries of their son's passing.
We were excited for him in the path that, he was taking on becoming a manhood and becoming a responsible parent. In an instant, it was just ripped apart from me.
Two families, one shared ache, and a city crying for it to end.
Augusta has this plague that every day someone dies. They have expected it to be the norm. This is an unacceptable norm.
And a reminder that Gerald and Devontae are not statistics. They are sons, souls, stories.
Our children are not just stamped in numbers. Our children had names. Our loved ones had names. And they also lived a life before their life was cut short.
And grieving mothers asking that you don't just remember them. you stand for them.
That person may not be present, but we don't ever want you to forget their memory, and we don't ever want to show you that we have forgotten your loved one.
As they try to piece together moments of joy,
We ended up adopting his son, so that's kind of like a blessing, you know, that he is with us.
in a life forever changed by the loss of the one who gave it meaning. And this was the first of many community events. Commissioner Jordan Johnson says this event will actually take place every year on the first Friday in June, so definitely many more to come.
I know, and listen, you know, we have a 10 o'clock broadcast, and it was very emotional for you. I see it's even emotional for you now, half hour later. You talk to these moms, you took in these stories, and sometimes, you know, we have to show up as anchors and as reporters, but this really touched you, very emotional. You even heard more of their stories, and, you know, how are you able to move through that without just, you know, totally going to pieces, coming back in here, putting this beautiful story together?
Well, I will say that I think I'm going to cry every time I watch it because it hasn't gotten by the second time around. But like we were talking, you know, before, I think it's just hearing their stories is what's so important, because I think where I find myself is being able to share their stories. Maybe they don't have that kind of audience. Well, they're hopefully trying to get that kind of audience,
That's right.
but you know, right now I'm kind of hoping to be that voice for them, but being able to just to stand there with them, hear who their sons are and what difference it makes. I mean, and also when we were standing there, we were talking, she was talking about her grandson. I actually got to meet him, the cutest little thing. He said, Gigi, it is time to go.
He was ready to go.
And she said, okay, baby, whatever that baby wants. So just being able to see her find pieces of her son and her grandson as well, I think holding on to that hope and then also sharing their stories as well, so important.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned officials were a little disappointed about the turnout. So bringing a story like this, the awareness, hopefully people see it this year and make their way out next year in regards to how important this type of event and this month is.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, even the sheriff, you see him right behind us, he was talking about how he kind of was disappointed. Like you said, the stands were not full like he wanted them to be. But I think with this event happening every year, we're telling you guys right now that maybe just come out next year. It is free to the public. And just hear some of these stories. They will stick with you genuinely forever. I know that they're going to stick with me. So just to hear them and also just to be that call for action.
Indeed. Kennedy Payne, thank you so much. Have a good weekend. We appreciate the story this evening. And as we mentioned, June is Gun Violence Awareness Month, represented by the color orange. The Wear Orange campaign began in honor of a young lady by the name of Hydea Pendleton, a beautiful young lady who was gunned down at a Chicago playground back in 2013, just a week after she marched in former President Obama's second inaugural parade. I happened to have lived in Chicago at the time, remembered and covered this story. The community later celebrated her life by wearing the color orange, as it is in relation to hunter safety. When those hunters go out there and hunt those animals, it is really important that they're seen, and so they wear the color orange, and so that is the association with wearing orange during this month. All right, tonight, friends and families gathered to support a woman hospitalized after an accident involving a motorcycle on Wheeler Road and Interstate Parkway. This was a scene just a few hours ago at the Food Lion on South Bel Air Road as the community came out in support of 27-year-old Morgan Gray, still fighting for her life, who was hit on Interstate Parkway. The incident is being investigated at this point as a hit and run. Family members and friends are calling for justice as they search for answers.
Tonight we're riding for her. We're Morgan strong, and we stick together. We're one big family. We want to get the word out that we want justice because she deserves justice. There is nothing that we're going to stop at any end for her, and that's what we're doing. We want to be heard.
That's what all of this is about, is getting our voice out, because we are her voice right now.
And everybody's continuing to show up, showing their support, being there for her, because we are Morgan strong. She makes us stand. She makes us stronger.
And we are hoping the best for Morgan and her recovery. Her family is asking that anyone with information call the Richmond County Sheriff's Office. And tonight marks the 81st anniversary of D-Day here in